We have officially headed home to Lowe's Motor Speedway for the halfway point of the round of 12 and the NASCAR playoffs, where tonight we will be running the UAW GM Quality 500. Last Friday night at California was a bit of a slugfest at the initial start, with Dale Jarrett finally getting his first win of the year after being edged out of the playoffs due to a problem at Daytona. He was barely holding on in that one. He took advantage of a few cautions and ultimately found himself in victory lane. But if you're a guy like Mark Martin or Jeff Gordon, man, you are in the hole heading into this race. So speaking of drivers in the hole, furthest back of the 12 chase drivers, obviously Harvick starts 30th. See a couple more cars taking some time. Burton and Harvick are the furthest back. Burton starts 24th. Kevin Harvick starts 30th. Trying to see where the other two are. So we got 6 chasers in the first 5 spots. Looks like Mark Martin and Ryan Newman are the other 4. Obviously, Harvick starting a bit in the cellar in 30th. Doesn't really help, but whatever. Let's go trackside.
Coming to you live from the Mecca of Motorsports, Lowe's Motor Speedway, for tonight's NASCAR Winston Cup Series race, the UAW GM Quality 500. This is a hometown crowd for a lot of these drivers.
This track was the first one to focus on spectator comfort, and it shows. This place always draws an enormous crowd. Most of the team shops are located in this area, which give it a hometown feel. We're in for some great racing here at Lowe's.
The 64 car seems to always have a good starting position at the speedways.
Starting up front is a big advantage, as you don't have to use the car up to get to the front of the pack. That means when it comes to money time, you still have something left.
Jamie McMurray won the fall race at Lowe's in 2002 in only his second Winston Cup start.
He had to hold off Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart, plus fight through lap traffic over the last couple laps to get the win. Now that is impressive for someone making just their second start.
The Civil Air Patrol Chevrolet hasn't made much of a move in the points so far.
And of course, nobody wants to be on the bottom of that points list. You'll have to work extra hard to pick up spots. It's not an easy task to dig yourself out of a hole in this series.
Gentlemen, start your engine. Now, let's take a look at the starting lineup. Starting up front are the 64 car and the Lowe's Chevrolet. Jeff Gordon, the NASCAR Winston Cup points leader, will start in 4th place. Starting the race from row 3 are the Motorcraft 4 and the DeWalt Power Tools 4. The 4th row has the Rubbermaid Sharpie 4 and the Tide Pontiac. Starting the race from row 5 will be the Interstate Battery Chevrolet and the Dale Jr. Chevrolet. In row 6 we have the UPS 4 and the O2 car. Starting from row 7 will be the Team Rusty Dodge and the Pfizer 4. In the 8th row are the Dodge Dealers UAW Dodge and the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. In the 9th row, we have the Valvoline Pontiac and the Sterling Marlin Dodge. In the 10th row are the 12 car and the Singular Wireless Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 11 are the M&M's Ford and the UAW Delphi Chevrolet. The 12th row has the Caterpillar Dodge and the Citgo Ford. Starting the race from row 13 will be the Granger Ford and the Haviland Dodge. In row 14 we have the U.S. Army Pontiac and the Hooters Ford. Starting from row 15 will be the BAM Racing Dodge and the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. In the 16th row are the Target Dodge and the America Online Chevrolet. In the 17th row are the Ford Car and the Net Zero Pontiac. In the 18th row are the Stacker 2 Dodge and the 46 car. Starting the race from row 19 are the Dodge dealers UAW Dodge and the Pennzoil Chevrolet. The 20th row has the Georgia Pacific Dodge and the Cheerios Dodge. Starting the race from row 21 will be the Kellogg Chevrolet and the 57 car. And finally, starting from the rear of the field will be the 27 car.
83 laps on tap tonight in the UAW GM Quality 500. Mr. Lowe's Motor Speedway himself, Jimmy Johnson, starts on the outside pole. Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon both looking in row 2. Jeff Gordon was the first winner here at Lowe's earlier this season. Obviously, he had that great pit strategy where Robbie Loomis basically had him pit once while everybody else pit twice in that event. Led the final 35 laps in that one after taking advantage of an opportunity with a crash between Rusty Wallace and Dylan Murway. Pace car is off. Dylan Murway, Jimmy Johnson, bring him down. Green flag is out at Lowe's. That was Dylan Murway snaking across the backstretch. They're trying to break the draft. Didn't really work out. Here comes Stewart off the corner. Dylan is still covering every square inch of this facility. Murway will lead the first lap. Tony Stewart all over the back bumper of the 64. Dylan looks down low. Stewart looks down low, neck and neck there. Dylan kind of got out of the gas, side by side for the lead. It was that side off turn 4 that Dylan had that crash with Rusty. Stewart will lead this lap. Murway trying to take the lead from Stewart, running the basement line going into turn 1. Takes it back. Murway takes it. Here comes Stewart to the inside. Still neck and neck going into 3. Stewart has the line. He's going to play smart here, kind of get loose, and fall in line behind Stewart. Rudd under attack for second. Rudd trying to take second away from Murway. Murway going up top. Stewart in the middle. Dylan on the bottom. Murway breaking ankles, going to the lead on the inside, neck and neck with Stewart. takes it. Oh, they're both in the wall, and we got a wreck. Big pile up. Kurt into the wall. Tony Stewart ricocheted into Ricky Rudd, hard into Kurt Busch. Both cars slammed the wall as they race to the caution flag. Here on lap 6. So yeah, that shook up. So Stewart went wide, came across the track. Stewart slams into Rudd, or Craig, to Busch, and then everybody checked up. Here it is again. Wow. And then Kurt Busch cleaned his clock out. Everybody and their mother stacked up, and that to avoid that, turning that into a much bigger situation than that needed to be. Pace car's off. Bit of a slow start for Dillon as they really bunched him up. With that, I don't see any chasers inside the top 5. I guess you count Jimmy Johnson in 6th. Was there damage? Looks like there might have been some tire smoke from the 21, but Dale Jarrett didn't see anything as they were riding around under yellow. Matt Kenseth is in the 5th position. The closest chaser to Dillon in the top 5. Amazingly, when Tony Stewart shot at the track into Kurt Busch, that had the power to be much worse than that was. That was making at least 5, maybe 8, 10 cars wrecked in turn 1. But hats off to everybody checking up and avoiding Tony as best as they could. So after that initial stretch, Dylan Murway has settled down, with Dylan Murway leading Ricky Rudd, Dale Jarrett, Matt Kenseth, and Ricky Craven, who got shuffled all the way to the top 5 after a very slow restart. Murway going into turn 3. Pulling away bit by bit from Ricky Rudd. So while that goes on, we would like to remind you that next Saturday at Talladega will be the elimination race in the round of 12. At the end of that day, 12 drivers will become 8. And probably the biggest wild card of them all, Talladega. And after that, I guess you could. Some people thought about using notes for this race, but Texas Roval is next week. Is the next, I guess you can say, intermediate track at a track like this, but Texas Roval is a whole different animal. You're basically, instead of going north, counterclockwise, you're going clockwise. And I guess the closest thing you can count for that is using the notes here that drivers learn for the championship race at Atlanta, because this is the last time until then that you'll be racing on a true intermediate racetrack like this. And that's going to be Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Championship 4. Dylan Murway enjoying a very nice race out front here in the UAW GM Quality 500. Bobby Labonte has made his way to the 5th position. He was the 2000 winner of this event. Another one of those races that he won on the way to his first and only Winston Cup championship in his career. There's a slow car heading to pit road. Unclear who it is. Looks like it might be. Let's see. We'll get more info on that in a moment. So how about Tony Stewart making a nice recovery so far after that slide into Kurt Busch? Through that, didn't see. So Christian Fittipaldi. And wow, Robbie Gordon had some problems. Robbie Gordon retired from the race with probably a fuel pump issue that is being reported. And Fittipaldi is pulling to pit road with a possible engine issue or overheating issue. And looks like we're getting word that the 43, as he was slowing down, accidentally knocked a transmission into the third gear. And you see Fittipaldi on the apron. See him blowing up, leaving transmission fluid on the apron. NASCAR will let the race play out at that point. But if there's oil on the track and there's cars in the wall, NASCAR is going to thread the yellow in interest of driver safety. So you see Fittipaldi on the apron. He accidentally downshifted going down the backstretch. And that really messed up the transmission, blew that car up. Fittipaldi to pit road. So Robbie Gordon with a confirmed engine problem is out of the race. And Fittipaldi with a transmission issue has retired from the event. So those are the first two casualties of the night. Dylan Murway has opened his lead up to 3 seconds over Ricky Rudd. And I guess you can count home in terms of intermediate tracks. I guess you can count Homestead, since that track got redesigned this season with progressive banking in the corners. Because the previous year was basically a flat version of Indy. But they redesigned the track for 2003. I guess you can count it, but that track doesn't have a dogleg. It's just one big giant oval. So I guess you can probably use the same car there, but wouldn't really recommend it. And then the true intermediate track with the little dog leg. Next time we'll have that is the championship race at Atlanta. Dylan Murway is all but checked out right now. He's got about 4.5 seconds on Ricky Rudd. Dylan Murway has not lifted once. Heading into the turns, he's kept that car almost 200 miles an hour going into the turns. Only slowed down to 160. And he's pulling away from Ricky Rudd a second each lap. .25 laps complete. We are working lap 26. Dylan Murway has led all but 3 up to this point. There's been one caution. That was for a early crash with Tony Stewart and Kurt Busch. Both drivers have recovered pretty nicely. That was on lap 6, the incident between those two. There was possible damage reported on Ricky Rudd, and there might be reports Rudd will come in on a pit stop to fix that, put some bear bond on it, as the damage may have just gotten worse. Look at Dylan Murway. He has basically kicked it into overdrive at this point, pulling away from Ricky Rudd lap by lap. You see Bobby Labonte in 4th, Matt Kenseth rounding out the top 5. We should see cars on pit road in the next lap or 2, maybe 3, depending on how things play out. Seven-second lead between Murway and Rudd. Is he trying to save as much fuel as he can? Murway trying to get by LePage. LePage will be put a lap down. Almost 8 seconds separate Dylan Murway and Ricky Rudd, as Murway has just put a couple more a lap down. Probably won't get to Biffle here. As they come down the back stretch, stand on the gas. Nearly spins the car out. As Dylan Murway will begin his pit stops. Murway comes out of the pits in 24th place, 1 lap down. Rudd and Labonte are down on pit road. Kenseth is going to take over the lead. Now turn 2. Murway trying to get by Kenseth. Will put him one. Murway will unlap himself. I'm sorry. As he's tucking it behind Ashton Lewis. Gets by him. And back down towards turn 3. Kenseth to pit road. Whoa! Oh, contact! Murway got into the wall after bouncing off Chase Montgomery. Doesn't look like it'll be anything major between the two. Murway gets into Biffle. He's just running around like a bull in a china shop right now. That's kind of not a good thing. What the heck. It's fun to watch. Roy comes across the front bumper of Chase Montgomery and will assume the lead right now. Here comes Murway closing in on Skinner. I put him a lap down. Dale Jarrett, the California winner, has taken the second spot. Murway gluing himself to the back bumper of the 4 car. It's by him. And, both into the wall. My goodness. A lot of damage to the 60. And I don't think Skinner appreciated that one. As here comes, there it is. There it is. Skinner around on the front stretch. A lot of damage to the 64. The second caution flag of the night as Murway comes around with a lot of damage after an attempted payback from Mike Skinner. Chase Montgomery also was part of that. They raced to the caution flag. Yeah, that was pretty deliberate. There's a single car incident for Skinner. Yeah, he shot across 3 lanes of racetrack to get him. Here comes Murway to repair that car. Obviously going to restart the back because of all the damage. So Murway came out of the pits in 36th place. Surrenders the lead. Pace car is off. Green flag back into the air. Dale Jarrett is your race leader. Bobby Labonte is second. Right now. Here's Murway trying to make up as much ground as he can. Starts by passing Kyle Petty. Kenny Wallace, Hermie Sadler with this. He had a nice qualifying run, but fell pretty far back, unfortunately. There's Brett Bodine up ahead. Obviously remembering California pretty vividly. Same with Mark Martin having a tough time tonight. Both cars get together. Murway trying to work with Mayfield to get through the pack as much as he can. Murway gets by Mayfield 3 wide there. Could probably get Mears in turn 1. Gets it, and a couple more cars. Quite a bit of damage to Steve Park's car. The 30, if what happened to him. We'll get a word on that shortly. There's a little bit of contact off 4. Further ahead, forces Johnson to check up. Dylan Norway closing up on Martin. Martin trying to cover the spot. I think that's these two could get a little dicey here. Contact. Rusty gets into Martin. Trying to move him. And Martin puts himself in the wall. No caution, but a lot of damage to the 6. We are still green after that slide. I think Dylan might be looking for a certain 4 car. Jay Johnson got 3 lap cars in front of him. Has got 3 lap cars behind him, battling Rusty, Newman, Harvick up there as well. Three wide there. Johnson, he did get a piece of that, the resulting stack up when Kurt Busch had that spin. It hasn't seemed to affect him quite a bit. He's running outside the top 15. Not we expected from him. Here comes Murway. He is basically gluing himself to the back of Newman's car. And Newman into Nemechek. No caution still after all this. We may have one here very shortly. Newman bounces into the door of Nemechek. Nemechek with a lot of damage. Several cars on pit road. Guys like Craven, Marlin. Look at that. A lot of damage to Murway's car. Probably should think about maybe a pit stop, I think. They head to the caution flag. Still there, still there. Still there. All right, outside. Outside. So out front, after that, Jeff Gordon has made his way into the top 5. And he's had a quiet night tonight. Murway is shoving Sadler. They bang. They bang. They touch. Sadler gets just slams Dylan into the wall. Those two have been going at it pretty hard the past few laps. Making our way through 4. And there he goes. I think Murway may have experience with people waiting on him. He's going to the top side. Into the wall. Blows a tire. The caution has come out for the 3rd time tonight. A lot of damage to Dylan's car. Trying to keep that car out of straight, but spins out in turn 4. Flat left rear front for the Dylan machine. After a probably a payback attempt on Sadler. On the 38 machine. Multiple cars to pit road. Jeff Gordon down there, Mayfield as well. And a tough way to begin that pit stop. Burton has exited the pits. Another frustrating pit stop for the Dillon machine. So there are cars that stayed out. What could be another wild restart here. Dylan Murway restarts 33rd. Kurt Busch scored in 35th place, 1 lap down. Race leader is the 57 car of Kevin LePage. Murway trying to make up all he can on these positions. And passing as many cars as he can. Murway gets into the side of Mears, gets by him for the 29th position. Contact is made. Oh, Sadler goes wide, hits the wall. No yellow there. Oh, a little bit of a nudge. Dillon slides, saves the car. Still green here at Lowe's. Surprisingly, Kevin LePage is the race leader. 3 wide coming off in turn 4. Oh, into the wall. So out front, I'm clear to see trying to see who's the leader here. Ricky Craven has moved his car out front. Haven't seen a lot of last time we had a chaser win, a playoff driver win a race in the playoffs. Dylan Murway, unironically, he's in 29th. Oh, a tough break for Kurt Busch. He was in that incident with Tony Stewart early on, and ultimately is currently in 35th. I think the damage might have got to him. Big cluster up ahead for position. Murway pushing Sadler up the racetrack. He's going to have to use the bumper. Sadler hits the wall. Still green here at Lowe's. Oh, things are getting dicey up ahead, I think. And then Murway making his way back into the top 20. Going to go 3 wide with a couple lap cars. There are cars up ahead. So meanwhile, Ricky Craven is still your leader. Earnhardt Jr. is the highest playoff driver in 4th. And there goes Mark Martin into the pack and into the wall. Several cars in it. Jack Sprague, Brett Bodine.
The lead changed hands quite a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, all those guys led laps, but the only one that really matters is the very last one. It's kind of one of those save the best for last type deals.
The 64 car didn't have much of a race.
Well, he gave it all he had, and that's all you can ask of any driver.
The 64 car has a new friend he can team up with on the racetrack.
Yeah, it's good to see the drivers work together out there, even when they aren't teammates.
From all of us here at EA Sports, thank you for joining us for this evening's race. We'll see you next time.
And there's that. A lot of cars. So let's piece this together. They're battling up front. Newman into Murway into the wall. Martin slams in there. There's Jeff Green's involved. Were there any chase drivers, though? That's the thing. That's what they're looking at. Obviously, Mark Martin, Dylan Murway were the two that come in mind. Look at that. McMurray's involved. Oh, Jeff Burton slammed into his teammate. Everyone's wrecking everywhere in 3. Burton's involved. Ken Schrader's on the apron. Elliott Sadler was threading the needle there, so we'll see who won this race. Kurt Busch pulls a rabbit out of the hat and wins the UAW GM Quality 500 tonight at Charlotte. Michael Waltrip second, Ryan Newman third, Ken Schrader 4th, Jeff Green 5th, Terry Labonte 6th, Ashton Lewis 7th, Johnny Benson 8th, Ricky Craven 9th, and Dale Jarrett rounds out the top 10. Nemechek, Harvick, Gordon. So Gordon creeps himself closer out of that must-win situation. All he has to do now, as we look at the rest of the field, obviously, Tony Stewart fell to 21st, unfortunately. Tough night for him. Earnhardt Jr. had a tough night. He had to pit late. Jimmy Johnson especially. Johnson's even moved pretty close to must-win territory. Ricky Rudd finished this race surprisingly. Jeff Burton. Wow. So Jeff Burton, Dylan Murway were all drivers that were 2 playoff drivers that are taken out in that crash. So Burton and Murway are on the outside looking in, and would be Jimmy Johnson and Earnhardt Jr. So then it's Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon. So Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, Bobby Labonte, Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Kevin Harvick, and Ryan Newman. So Kurt Busch is through to the round of 8. So then you have Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, Tony Stewart, and Matt Kenseth are the 8 drivers. So the 4 that are on the outside, Earnhardt Jr.'s 4 back. Jimmy Johnson is 8 back. And Jeff Burton is 15 back. And Dylan Murway is 18 back. A lot of cars DNF from this race. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 cars. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 drivers, unfortunately, DNF'd from this race. 2 chase contenders, notably. So let's look through the race awards. Kurt Busch earned $196,000. There were 4 caution flags for 14 laps tonight. 17 lead changes. Average speed 54 minutes. Or time of race 54 minutes. Average speed 137 miles an hour. And margin of victory 5 seconds. So we had 17 lead changes among 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Among 12 drivers. So yeah, let's see how things shake out here. So we'll take a look at the next race here, which is the EA Sports 500 for Elimination Sunday. Jeff Gordon with a pretty good run outside the top 10, unfortunately. Even though Dylan Murray is the richest driver this season, not a good week for him. As there were reports after the race, Ryan Newman went over and confronted Dylan Murray about the dust-up between him and Newman. That unfortunately wrecked both their days. And there were reports things got a little confrontational. Newman walked away, gave him the old smack of disapproval. And then crew members got involved. And then things got aggressive. Dylan Murray won the pole, led the most laps. Terry Labonte passed the most cars. Sterling Marlin had the fastest lap. Ashton Lewis was the best rookie, and Ryan Newman made the most exciting pass of the race. Tony Stewart has become the 3rd driver to crack 100 laps led this season. Tonight, but they don't have a remote shot. Neither Gordon or Stewart have a remote shot at catching Dylan Murray in the EA Sports Lap Champion Award. So, Elimination Sunday, next Saturday, 2 o'clock Eastern. EA Sports 500, 12 drivers become 8. Will magic happen? Find out then. But until next time, good night.